The alien market was loud, crowded, and full of strange smells. Traders shouted prices. Creatures from dozens of planets walked past each other. But in the far corner of the market, behind a metal cage, sat a small alien girl. She was quiet, still and forgotten. Her skin was pale purple. Her long silver hair was messy. Her big glowing eyes stared at the ground. She looked about 16 in human years, but no one knew for sure. Her name was Kyrell, though no one had spoken it for years. She was an orphan. Her species, the Valurians, had been wiped out in a war years ago. The few survivors were scattered, broken, unwanted. And the females? No one wanted to mate with them. People said they were cursed, or empty. Some even believed their wombs were poisoned by war. Kyrell had been moved from trader to trader like an old tool. Nobody bought her. Some aliens laughed. At her, others looked away in disgust. A sign on her cage read in many languages, "Low value, not suitable for breeding, price reduced." She had stopped hoping long ago, until he showed up. Jason, a human engineer from Earth, had just finished a tough mining job on the nearby moon. He wasn't rich, but he had a kind heart and a habit of wandering through alien markets after work. He liked odd things, strange tools, old relics, weird snacks. That's when he saw her. At first he thought she was a statue or some sleeping creature, but then her eyes moved. Slowly she looked up at him. Their eyes locked. Something hit his chest. He didn't understand it, but he felt it deep inside. She wasn't like the others. Jason stepped closer. "Hey, you okay?" She didn't answer, but her hand twitched. Her fingers curled around the bars. The trader appeared. "Don't bother with her, human," the trader snorted. "Worthless. Doesn't speak, can't mate. Just taking up space." Jason looked again. The girl was shaking, not from fear, but from cold. "She's freezing," Jason said. "You don't even give her heat?" The trader shrugged. "Waste of power. Want her or not?" 100 credits. "That's half her feed cost." Jason hesitated. He wasn't planning to buy anyone, didn't believe in keeping living beings as property. But the way she stared at him, it wasn't begging. It was like she'd already accepted her fate. Like she had no hope left, and that broke something in him. He pulled out his card. "I'll take her." The trader blinked. "What? You heard me?" "You don't understand, human. Her kind," I said. "I'll take her." The crowd nearby started whispering. Some laughed. A green-skinned female clicked her tongue. "Stupid. Human, he'll regret it." Jason unlocked the cage. The girl didn't move. "Come on," he said softly. She stood on shaky legs, then collapsed. Jason caught her in his arms. Her body was cold. Too cold. Her breathing was shallow. He wrapped his jacket around her and carried her through the market like a wounded child. People stared. Others muttered. But Jason didn't care. Back in his small rental unit, he laid her on the bed, wrapped her in warm blankets, and gave her hot soup. She drank slowly, watching him with curious eyes. Still, she didn't speak. Jason smiled. "You're safe now. My name's Jason. What's yours?" A few seconds passed. Then her lips moved. "Kyrell." Jason's eyes widened. "You can talk?" She gave a tiny nod. Then quietly she added, "No one." Before... That night, Jason slept on the floor while Kyrell rested in the bed. A soft hum came from the heater, and the room was peaceful. But Jason didn't know that far away, in the darker parts of the station, others had noticed what happened. Orphan girl had finally been taken, and not just by anyone, a human. Someone whispered he doesn't know what he's done. They were right. Jason had just changed his life forever. The next morning, Jason woke up to silence. The heater was humming gently, but the girl Kyrell wasn't in the bed. His heart jumped. He looked around quickly, ready to panic. Then he saw her. She was sitting on the floor, curled up like a small animal, wearing one of his oversized shirts. She was staring at the heater, hands out, as if still unsure if the warmth was real. "You don't have to sit there," Jason said softly. "The bed's yours, you know?" Kyrell turned slowly. "Beds are for mates. No, I mean you can use it without that. It's just soft. She tilted her head like a confused cat, then nodded without emotion. Soft is nice. Jason handed her some breakfast, protein bars, a warm drink, and dried fruit. She sniffed. Everything before eating. She was cautious, not like a child, but like someone who had been poisoned before. He didn't ask questions. Not yet. Later, when she showered and put on cleaner clothes, Jason noticed something odd. His translator device, which picked up all nearby languages, was displaying strange signals when she spoke. Short phrases appeared on the screen. Mate, proximity. Stable, bond, adjusting. Send compatibility, 87% and rising. He frowned and reset the device. It must be bugged, right? That night, Chiral sat near him, cross-legged on the floor, playing with the hem of his blanket. She didn't talk much, but her eyes watched everything, like she was learning him. Jason broke the silence. So, do you remember your home? She nodded. It burned. He paused. And your family? She shook her head slowly. Gone, clan broken. Females hunted. I was too small to be of use. So they left me. Jason swallowed hard. Horrible. Chiral looked at him. You bought me. He raised an eyebrow. I didn't buy you like a thing. I wanted to get you out of that cage. She leaned forward. No one wants cursed ones, except for pain or testing. But you gave me soup. Jason smiled awkwardly. It was just soup. To me, she said softly, it was a promise. Jason didn't know what to say to that, but deep inside he felt it too. It was something about this girl, something unspoken, something ancient. That night, he dreamed of silver forests and glowing rivers, of a girl running barefoot, laughing under moons, and a deep voice in his head, whispering in a language he didn't understand. He woke up sweating. Chiral was sitting beside his bed. Are you okay? He asked. I heard your mind. Jason sat up. You what? She looked down. A kind. Bond through the mind, but only when close, when accepted. I don't mean to enter. It just happens. Jason stared at her. I didn't accept anything. I just wanted to help. She gave a small smile, almost sad. That's enough for the bond to begin. Suddenly, the translator buzzed again. Phase 2. Emotional imprint detected. Jason shut it off. What was happening? Later that day, a nearby alien merchant stopped him outside the station shop. The merchant sniffed and narrowed his glowing eyes. You carry Valorian scent now, he said coldly. Be careful, human. Bear. Kind don't bond halfway. Once she chooses, she changes. Jason returned home with his chest tight. Chiral was making the bed perfectly, like a ritual. She turned to him as he entered. You smell like metal and fire today, she said, quietly. I like it. He dropped the supplies and sighed. You're not falling in love with me, are you? Looked at him, silent, then. I don't know what love is. But when you speak, my body becomes warm. When you leave, I count the seconds. When you smile, I feel less alone. Is that love? Jason couldn't answer, but his heart already had. Jason wasn't used to being watched, but now everywhere he went on the space station, he could feel eyes on him. It's not just casual looks, tracking stares. Aliens would pause mid-conversation. Some whispered. Others simply moved out of his way. At first, he thought he was being paranoid, but he wasn't. It started when he visited the coolant supply dock. It's the older Glarntech, a four-eyed engineer who'd once shared drinks with him. Suddenly stopped talking. The moment Chiral entered the room behind Jason, is that what you brought back from the market? The Glorn asked quietly. Jason nodded. She needed help. Glorn didn't smile. You didn't help her. You bound her. Jason blinked. What? The alien's voice turned sharp. You don't know their kind. The Valorians didn't. Just breed they chose for life. One touch. One act of kindness. That's all it takes. You lit the fuse, human. Now watch the fire. Jason brushed it off as superstition, But that night, Kyrell's eyes glowed faintly blue as she slept beside the heater. The translator long muted flashed again, neural sync, deepening, host acceptance, 71%. Jason turned it off, heart pounding the next day. While repairing a cracked power line on the upper levels, an alien priest approached him tall, robed in black, with silver threads woven into his sleeves. His face was hidden behind a bone mask. "Carry the scent of a morning breed," the priest said. His voice echoed like a whisper from a tunnel. Jason narrowed his eyes. "Excuse me? She has touched your mind. You've seen her dreams, haven't you?" Jason hesitated. What? If I have, then you are part of something older than your world. When her people fell, they cursed the stars to send one final mate, one last chance to keep their bloodline alive. She was made for it, raised for it, and now you've answered. Jason scoffed. "I didn't answer anything." The priest stepped closer. "Then why do your dreams speak in her dead language?" Jason's mouth went dry. Before he could reply, the priest leaned close and whispered, "She isn't just choosing you, human. She's choosing what comes next." And then he vanished into the crowd. Back in the room, Kyrell was waiting. She had made food. Not earth food, but something alien, warm and sweet-smelling. The table was set, clumsily, but with care. She was dressed in clean clothes Jason had given her, her silver hair tied back with one of his old cables. She looked up. "You're late." Jason smiled weakly. "I had a lot on my mind." Her glowing eyes didn't blink. "It's because they're warning you about me." Jason froze. She stood and walked slowly toward him. "I think I will change you. Trap you. That my blood is dangerous." Jason didn't speak. She stopped inches from him. "Do you think that too?" He didn't answer right away. But then he said quietly, "I think I don't understand you. And that scares me more than you do." She nodded slowly. "You want to run? I want to breathe." Kyrell looked down. "Then I will go." She turned to leave, but Jason grabbed her wrist gently. "No, that's not what I meant." She turned back, surprised. "I just need time," he said, "to understand what we're becoming." Kyrell stared into his eyes. "We're becoming one. It's what my people called it. We don't fall in love slowly. When we find our chosen, we begin becoming." She leaned closer. "I already smell like you. Soon you'll start smelling like me." Jason's heart thudded. "That's weirdly sweet and terrifying." Kyrell giggled. It was the first time he heard her laugh. Later, as Jason fell asleep, her voice entered his mind, not from her lips, but from somewhere deeper. Like a memory inside a dream, they whisper lies because they never knew real bonding. "But you gave soup and kindness and warmth. My body is changing because of you, Jason, but yours will too." He woke in the dark, sweating, heart racing. Kyrell was lying beside him, not touching, just watching, smiling softly. The first sign came with a scent. Jason had just stepped out of the shower. Steam clung to the walls. The air was thick. But something was different. Not his usual soap, not machine oil. This was something new. It was warm, sweet, almost magnetic then. He noticed her Kyrell standing just outside the bathroom door, still breathing heavily, glowing brighter than ever. Jason quickly grabbed a towel. "Kyrell, what are you doing?" "Ow." She blinked slowly, the air. "It's heavy." "It's you." Jason froze. "What?" Kyrell stumbled forward, gripping the edge of the wall. It started. "I didn't expect it this soon." Her skin shimmered faintly, like soft bioluminescence rising from beneath. Her pulse was visible. Through her neck, she was overheating, but not from sickness. Jason rushed to her side. "Are you okay?" "I'm not sick," she whispered. "I'm entering first heat. It's because of you." Jason's breath caught. Wait. Are you saying I caused this?" "I didn't touch you like that. You didn't need to." She looked up at him with pleading eyes. "My body remembers your scent, your warmth, your kindness. That was enough. My species. We don't just breed. We respond." Jason backed away a little. What does that mean for us? Tyrell's voice was shaky. It means if I'm left alone now, the pain will rise. And keep rising, till it breaks something. Inside me, he activated the medbay scanner and ran it over her body. The readings made no sense. Her hormone levels spiking violently. Her temperature was climbing fast, pushing past what most humanoids could survive. Internal regulators were failing. Her muscles twitched involuntarily. Then there it was, biological status, mating phase initiated, imprint detected, human. Jason crossed pain response. Increasing. Jason stared at the screen. Speechless. Kurel was shivering now, curled on the bed. Her breathing was fast and uneven. You can go, she said, trying to smile. You don't have to see this. Jason shook his head. I'm not leaving you like this. She gave a weak laugh. Then you'll be the first one who stayed.
I see.
Called the station doctor a bug-like alien named Vashkabat. The reply was instant and cold. Valyrian heat. You don't handle that here. Dangerous, unpredictable. You brought her on board, human? You deal with the consequences? The line went dead. Jason looked at Kyril again. Her hands were gripping the blanket tight. Her body was glowing faintly, now veins lit like fireflies. I can't hold it, she gasped. It hurts. Jason sat beside her, heart pounding. He had no idea what to do. He wasn't a doctor. He wasn't her mate. He was just some guy who wanted to help a lonely girl in a cage. But now, you need touch, she whispered. Gentle, calm, real touch. Or it'll become wild. Jason paused, then reached out slowly and placed his hand on hers. Her reaction was instant. She gasped, but not from pain. The shaking slowed. Her breath softened. The glow dimmed just a little. Jason swallowed like this. She nodded. Stay like that, please. Hours passed. He stayed by her side, talking softly, letting her hold his hand. At one point, she rested her head on his chest. Her skin was warm to warm, but her expression finally relaxed. I dreamed of this, she murmured. The cage I used to imagine someone would come, not to take me, not to use me, just to stay. Jason's heart twisted. I didn't know it would be you, she added, voice trembling. Jason looked down at her. I didn't know either. By morning, her glow had faded. Her breathing was normal. She was asleep, curled against him like a child. But even in sleep, her hand never let go of his. Jason tried to get up quietly, but the translator device flickered awake. Mating phase stabilized, bond completion, pending consent warning, emotional crosslink formed. Jason stared at the words. He hadn't just helped her through a biological storm. He had stepped into something much bigger, and whether he liked it or not. Part of her was now inside him. The sirens didn't sound. That was the worst part. The threat didn't come loudly, not like in the movies. No flashing red lights. No alarms. No pounding on the door. Just one soft blinking light. And a message that whispered, specimen registered. Cross-species genetic risk. Intercept en route. Jason stood frozen at the screen. Kurel sat behind him, pulling the blanket tighter around her glowing body. Her markings, those soft symbols from the ritual, were fading now, as if retreating under her skin. She looked tired, but her eyes were wide. They know, she whispered. They always watch for my kind. But I didn't think they'd track. You, Jason turned around. Who are they, Kyril? What is this? She looked down at her hands. They were shaking. They're called the Collectors. They were formed after the last genetic war. They monitor illegal breeding. Forbidden. Unions. Jason frowned. Forbidden. You and I didn't break a law. To them, she whispered, we broke nature. Jason began packing. Food, water capsules, portable medkit. I'm getting us off this station. But where would we go? She asked. Anywhere they can scan, they'll find us. Then we go where they can't scan. It's somewhere off-grid, a mining world, a black zone, places. But before he could finish stuffing the bag, Kyril let out a soft gasp. Jason turned quickly. She had fallen to her knees. One hand was on her belly. Jason rushed to her. "Chiral, what's wrong?" Eyes were glowing again, but this time not with warmth, with fear. "It's not just me anymore?" Jason blinked. "What do you mean?" She looked up, tears welling in her silver eyes. "The ritual completed the cycle. My body recognized you and responded. You're saying you're pregnant?" Chiral nodded slowly. "Not in the human way. My kind. We don't carry babies like you do. We carry eggs, not ordinary ones." She opened her hand. There, floating inches above her palm, was a faint blue shimmer, like a glowing marble made of mist and starlight. It flickered softly, pulsing with life. "This," she whispered, "is a Valorian soul egg. It doesn't just carry our child, it carries our entire legacy." Jason couldn't breathe. Rel continued. "My clan encoded memories inside our children. One of us ever made it outside, the child would not just be born, it would be reborn. My people, through you, will rise again." Jason stared at the egg. It was beautiful, alive, sacred, and now he understood why they were being hunted. "They won't just take me," Chiral said. "They'll dissect me, clone me, use me. They'll want the egg, but not the soul inside it. To them, it's data, a resource." Jason stood. His voice was sharp now, focused. "Then we're not running." Chiral looked up. "What? We're hiding in plain sight. I know a cargo ship heading to the shadow planets. We'll bribe our way on. I've done it before." Chiral's hand shook. "Jason, this child isn't normal. It may change me. It may change you too." Jason leaned down, gently took her hand, and said, "You already changed me. This is just the next step." They dressed fast, covered Chiral in a hood and cloak, hid the glowing egg inside a modified power core. Jason rerouted his ID chip, turned off every trace of their link to the station as they stepped outside their unit. The hallway was eerily quiet, too quiet, then dashed footsteps, heavy, metallic, not. "Station guards. Drones. K." Rel grabbed Jason's arm, her voice low and shaking. "They're here." Jason whispered back, "Then let's give them nothing to find." They slipped through service tunnels, past steam vents and old cables, down to the cargo bay. The launch timer showed 6 minutes to departure. Jason spotted the freight, a dirty rust-covered hauler with no questions asked, but just as they moved toward it, freeze. A cold voice echoed behind them. Jason turned out to drones. One collector, tall black robe, no face, just a helmet with red slits. "We know what you carry," the collector said. "The female is not authorized for genetic merging. Stand down and surrender the artifact." Chiral trembled. The egg pulsed harder under her cloak. Jason stepped forward. "You'll have to kill me first." The collector didn't blink. "Easily done." But before he could give the order, Chiral screamed, not in fear, but in a voice of ancient power. Her eyes turned white. Her glow flared out in rings of blue flame. The egg rose from under her cloak and lit up like a star. The drones stopped, frozen there. Systems scrambled by ancient Valorian energy they couldn't understand. Jason grabbed Chiral's hand. "Now," he shouted, and they ran toward the ship, toward the unknown. They made it inside just as the bay doors slammed shut, as the ship roared into the stars. Chiral collapsed into Jason's arms. She smiled weakly. "You saved the last of my people." She whispered, "You're not just my mate anymore, Jason. You're my people now." The stars outside the window drifted by slowly, like ghosts passing through deep time. The stolen cargo ship floated silently in the void between systems' no tracking beacons. No signal, no trace. Jason had shut down everything except life support. They couldn't risk being found. Inside the ship, in a small room lit only by soft blue light, Jason sat with Chiral, resting beside him. She looked weaker now, not sick but changed. Her glow had dimmed, her voice was quieter, her steps slower. But when she smiled, it carried something new. A calm Jason had never seen before. "It's starting," she said softly, placing a hand over her belly. Jason glanced at the containment orb, now sealed, humming low. The soul egg no longer floated, luggled. It thrummed like it had a heartbeat of its own. How long? He asked. Hours, maybe minutes, Chiral whispered.
Ow!
Valorian eggs don't wait for safety. They hatch when they feel it's time. And it knows. We're running. Jason looked at the readout panel on the wall. Fuel low. Rations tight. But they had made it out of collector space. For now, we need a place to land, he muttered. K-Urel reached for his hand. No, we need a place to begin. Jason blinked. What? You didn't just save me, she said. You saved my kind. My people thought their last breath had been taken. But now, inside this egg is more than just a child. Jason looked into her eyes, and suddenly he understood the egg didn't just carry their offspring. It carried everything. Valorian, its language, memories, culture. The rituals of a people wiped from history. A blueprint not just for life, but for rebirth, and now. It had chosen a human to protect it. Jason stood slowly. If he kept running, they'd spend their lives hiding in shadows. But if he stepped forward, if he made a stand they could rewrite what it meant to be forbidden. I know a place, he finally said. A terraforming colony on Arcadia 3. It's off-grid. It's mountains, trees, no scanners. They let people start new lives there, Chiral's voice caught. Would they accept me? Jason turned to her with a quiet smile. They'll accept us. 2 weeks later, the shuttle doors opened to green hills, blue skies, and the scent of alien pine trees. Jason stepped out first, then Chiral followed. It pulled low. But when the colonists saw her, there was no fear, only silence. And a small girl ran forward and smiled. Pretty lady, she said. Jason's heart eased. This world wasn't owned by collectors. This world had no past with the Valurians. This world was new. They built a small home beside the lake. Simple, quiet, hidden. And one night, under a pale, purple moon, Chiral awoke, gasping not in fear, but in awe. The egg was glowing bright white. It floated from the containment orb, hovered between them, and slowly cracked. Jason sat beside her, both of them breathless. Out of the shell came not a creature, but a form of light. Slowly it shifted, turned, and then took shape. A child, not human, not Valorian, something new. Small glowing veins on her skin, hair like liquid silver, eyes that held stars inside them. And when she opened her mouth, her first word was, Jason. Froze, I didn't teach her that, Chiral whispered, eyes wide with tears. The child looked at both of them. I remember everything. I am what was. I am what comes next. And then she smiled and said the simplest thing of all. Can I call you Dad? Jason choked on his breath, then nodded slowly. Yeah, he said, pulling her gently into his arms. You can call me anything you want. The years passed. The collectors searched, but never found them. Because Jason and Chiral didn't just run. They disappeared into legend. Whispers spread of a human who mated with a forgotten alien girl, created a child who could walk between stars and shape the future. A child with 2 bloods, 2 histories, and 1 destiny. And when that child grew, she didn't just rebuild the Valurians. She built something greater.